Friends, hello everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about an eternal topic, wealth. It is like a double-edged sword, capable of bringing the joy of dreams come true, but also of tearing hearts apart and causing irreparable tragedy. Imagine suddenly receiving a huge sum of money, demolition compensation, a lottery win, or an unexpected inheritance. What would you do? Would you be overjoyed or faintly uneasy? Today, starting from two true and heartbreaking stories, I will guide you through the fog of wealth to explore the truth hidden behind money. Are you ready? Let's set off together. This is not just a story. It is a mirror of the soul, offering strength to both you and me. The first pain, the curse of demolition compensation, the instant collapse from family love to hatred. Let's start with the first pain, uneven distribution of demolition compensation leading to family members turning against each other. Does that sound familiar? In Shanghai, one family received 6 million in compensation due to demolition. It should have been a tremendous blessing. The house was gone, but the money arrived, enough for the family to live comfortably and even invest in the future. But what was the reality? Arguments, lawsuits, even severed relationships. In the end, the family was completely torn apart, with once close blood ties reduced to chaos. Why? Because this 6 million became a giant cake, with everyone eyeing their own piece, afraid of missing out. If you have more, I have less. This zero-sum mindset poisoned love and trust like venom. Family love, which should be the warmest harbor, was shattered. However, when the tidal wave of money struck, the hidden rocks of selfishness and human nature were mercilessly exposed. But friends, don't sigh just yet. Let me take you into a completely different world, a heartwarming story from the Bible. It will shine like a ray of sunlight, dispelling the gloom in our hearts. The protagonists of this story are two brothers, the elder brother Ornan and the younger brother Araunah. Their threshing floors were adjacent. The elder brother had a large family and heavy burdens, while the younger brother had a smaller family and a relatively easier life. When the harvest season arrived, the elder brother thought, "My younger brother has it tough. I should help him." So, in the dead of night, he quietly carried sheaves from his own field to his brother's threshing floor. Unexpectedly, the younger brother thought the same. "My elder brother has so many mouths to feed. I can't let him suffer a loss." He, too, secretly brought sheaves to his brother's field. The next day, both were astonished to find their sheaves hadn't decreased. This went on for several nights until one evening. They met on the threshing floor and, with tearful eyes, understood each other's intentions. At that moment, there was no conflict, only an embrace, no loss, only heartfelt joy and emotion. These two stories, like two sides of the same coin, reflect the deepest choices humanity makes in the face of interest. Let's analyze the reasons behind these two choices. The forces driving them are worlds apart. The demolition family was driven by a self-serving mindset of dividing the cake. Everyone kept asking, "How much more can I get?" dragging family love into a zero-sum game of the more you have, the less I have. The result was conflict erupting like a volcano, ultimately reducing family bonds to ashes. In contrast, the brothers were motivated by a selfless spirit of giving sheaves. They empathized with each other, quietly wondering, does he need more? This was not a competition, but silent acts of giving. The material sheaves did not increase, but love and trust multiplied imperceptibly. This goodwill, like a seed, took root and sprouted in their hearts, eventually bearing abundant fruit. The nature of their relationships was also fundamentally different. In the whirlpool of demolition compensation, the family degenerated into a cold, contractual arrangement. Relatives became like shareholders calculating their shares, with the law turning into a weapon for confrontation, while love quietly departed. The two brothers, however, built a community of love through their actions. Though their threshing floors had boundaries, their hearts knew no limits. They actively crossed that line to understand each other's hardships. The warmth stemming from the depths of their hearts remains touching to this day. The outcomes, naturally, diverged to two extremes. The demolition family gained money at the cost of turning against each other, but forever lost priceless family love, leaving behind lifelong, irreparable regret. The brothers who met on the moonlit threshing floor, however, achieved spiritual elevation through their story. Though they gave limited sheaves, they reaped boundless joy and a testimony of life that has been passed down through the ages. Friends, what does this tell us? True happiness lies not in how much you have, but in how you share. The Shanghai family had 6 million but fell into an abyss of misery, while the brothers found fulfillment in giving to each other. When faced with interests, do we choose to fight or to understand? A single thought can lead relationships to heaven or hell. The test of love versus interests acts as a mirror, reflecting our true hearts. This story, transcending time and culture, reminds us, it is more blessed to give than to receive. In the fog of interests, it is the guiding light that leads us forward. The second pain, the temptation of great wealth, the slide from sudden wealth to bankruptcy. The second tragedy brought by wealth begins with loss. When massive amounts of money flood into life, some people do not move toward prosperity but slide into the abyss of gambling, ending up burdened with debt. Such tragedies are repeatedly seen in many villages that have suddenly become wealthy due to demolition. Gamblers and scammers flock like wolves catching the scent of prey. Some lose millions overnight, even taking on heavy high-interest loans, ultimately ending up with broken families and destroyed lives. Behind this lies a brutal truth about human nature. Wealth never creates character. It is merely a giant magnifying glass. If you lack self-control by nature, wealth will magnify your tendency to gamble, turning it from a pastime into an all-consuming addiction. If your heart is inherently empty, wealth will magnify this void into an endless abyss, driving you to seek more stimulating pleasures, yet never filling the emptiness. If you do not know how to manage money, wealth will fully expose this cognitive shortcoming, causing money to slip away like water. This is the modern reflection of the saying, virtue and wealth are often mismatched, inevitably leading to disaster. I recall seeing an American who won $50 million in the lottery. When interviewed by a reporter, he said, "After receiving this huge sum, I felt fear. I didn't know how to manage this money." This is a rare clarity. He instinctively realized that he did not yet possess the inner strength to handle such wealth. Sudden wealth is an extreme test of human nature and cognition. It is like putting a child in the driver's seat of a high-speed sports car. Loss of control is almost inevitable. The deeper reason lies in the fact that material satisfaction can never fill spiritual emptiness. The euphoria brought by demolition money is fleeting. Without higher pursuits, family responsibilities, or personal growth, people can only sink deeper into despair through self-destructive behaviors like gambling. When external defenses are so fragile and the inner void so vast, the script for tragedy has already been written. The true meaning of wealth. Inner development is the eternal foundation. Friends, when we combine these two types of pain, we see the dual destruction wrought by wealth, the corrosion of family bonds, and the ruin of the self. Yet the revelation is unified. Happiness lies not in external possessions, but in inner virtue, cognition, self-discipline, and love. Without these, wealth becomes a stress test, and many fail. We did not come into this world merely to enjoy life and make money. True family love and friendship are about mutual understanding and proactive giving. Such goodwill, even if hidden, will meet at some moment, making relationships and destinies more beautiful. Friends, let's take action. While pursuing wealth, do not forget to cultivate your inner self. That is the foundation that carries everything. Thank you for listening. If you are moved, please feel free to share your story. Let us find true abundance together in love and sharing.